Hi. So up until this point, my conversations here have been about emotions, but not be what I really want to talk about with that. I just the use am since as introduction for both what I want to talk about and also as introduction into speaking, into having these conversations. As actually my first time having to speak online, right? So I wanted to give myself that kind of soft landing. So I was using it as an introduction for that and also an introduction to what I want to talk about, which is interpersonal relationships. And I felt like it would not make a lot of sense to talk about interpersonal relationships when that is the way we treat each other, when or if we don't understand very well how to treat our own self, right? Because how we dey treat people are really extension of how we dey treat ourselves. So it made sense to talk about emotions first because and there we really dey understand how we dey treat ourselves, how we dey manage our own relationship with ourselves. And then we can discuss how we dey manage our relationships with other people, you know. So I don't exhaust the topic for the topics when I get for emotions. And moving forward, I go to talk about interpersonal relationships. I go sometimes they talk about some thoughts when I did get around existentialism too. They may be connected, they may not, but I would like to talk about these two things moving forward. I think the conversation around interpersonal relationships they're very important, you know, especially not even especially, it's important because if with the way a lot of things are moving today, right, there is a lot of agitation amongst us people and how we are trying to make adjustments to make the world a better place for all of us, right? There's different struggles in different countries, and we're trying to figure that out. And in as much as the way that we treat each other is going to play a very big role in that changing, in that adjustment, preserving the change after we get it is also going to be greatly dependent on the way that we treat each other. Whatever change that we create now, it's not going to be the first time in our history as humans that we've made changes in our lives, be it our socialization or our politics. It's not going to be the first time. But maybe this time around we can learn to better manage our relationships with ourselves, and maybe that will help us preserve this change for a longer time. Because the closer we are together, the more difficult it is to separate us and break us down. So maybe this will help us somehow get to that point, you know, where we don't just change the world, we also preserve that change for the longest time possible. So this is not the video for this week, just to sort of carry everybody along and you know let everybody know how things they progress with the conversation, with these conversations. From next week, I could start with the first topic on interpersonal relationships. I don't know yet what it's going to be, but by next week, we could definitely figure them out. And bye for now.